Dear listeners, good morning and welcome to Comdarchi, the podcast that opens the doors to the fascinating world of architecture. For newcomers, let me introduce myself. I'm the spokesperson of Anne-Charlotte Despons, PhD in History of Architecture, published author, head of a communication and development agency based in Paris, France, dedicated to architecture. Let's meet every week to discuss culture and architecture with specialists and learn how to look at projects through a context and diversity lens. Thank you for being with me today, and now it's time for talent.
Bienvenue dans Comdarchi.
Hello everybody. Hello Clément Maître and Robinson Neuville. Thank you for being with us today. You are both architects, founders of DR Forme. In 2 or 3 sentences, could you introduce us to your architectural practice?
Hello everybody, so we are Clément and Robinson. Our office is 3 years old actually. Clément starts a bit before and I join after. We are working in Paris. We are mostly working on refurbishment projects, but also new projects. And we try to work at different scale, from urbanism to small objects.
You are winner or something like that?
Yeah.
About Europan?
We are runner-up of Europan.
Yes, exactly.
In Champigny-sur-Marne, which is a really nice city in the outskirts of Paris.
First suburb of Paris.
It's important for a young office.
Of course.
I guess it's important to keep on doing some competitions, even though it's maybe a little bit more difficult to be invited. So Europan is a really good opportunity to express yourself with a project that will actually get a few or a great visibility. So yes, of course.
And I will just add that, to my mind, it's important to Europan is a competition that allow reflection and thinking on Europe, actually, on Europe territories, from large scale of people from different countries. And actually you have a Danish guy who's gonna come to think about a French suburb in Paris or in Marseille, and and the opposite, there is French people going to Austria to think about the new city. So I mean, it's a really great opportunities for architects and especially for Europe.
Now, can you tell us about your project, La Villa Magalon?
Yes, La Villa Magalon is a project we just finished in Paris, in the center of Paris. It's an existing greenhouse we had to refurbish into a hospitality space for people attending a private clinic next to the building. So the main point of the project was to change its purpose and to turn a place that is meant to just grow plants and be heated the most possible into some place that you will be able to use day and night, and in winter and in the summer. So with climatization, with heating, and with facilities for conferences, facilities for
yoga lessons, art lessons too. And maybe one point which is quite interesting is that this is the greenhouse, it's existing and we keep it as it is, but in a way we choose to make all the networks and systems totally disappear into the ground and into furniture. So actually it's a project which is mostly in a way inside or even underground. And it's the reverse side of the architecture. It's how to change function, how to add new use of an existing building.
Yes, actually our aim was to, we were trying, and hopefully we achieved it, we were trying to mix all of the technical problems or technical issues we had with changing this use, to do it in the most simple way. So all of the technical elements are inserted into a bench, and the you could see the project as only a bench in the sides of the building, dug into the ground, and that's it. Our aim is always to try to simplify the project the most possible in order to make it really simple when you go into it. I guess 2 things maybe. First is this discussion with the client and this discussion with the future users in order to match their needs, but in the meantime to respect the existing building. So we were always discussing, okay, that's an existing building, it's got a patrimonial value, so we cannot turn it into a modern building as we know it. And but where do we go? So, for example, we had this. Of course, we needed AC. We needed the climatization. So we tried to integrate it into the building and hide the machines from the sites. So that's a move we took towards the users. And in the same time, we had this issue of shading the natural light because it's a greenhouse. And we decided together with all of the actors of the project, so the client and the users, to use a really simple way of shading lights, which are pieces of wood that are bound together with metallic elements, and we just have to pull a rope in order to lift it or put it down. So these discussions were really interesting for us. That's the first point. And the second point is we took it further with the construction companies. So really interesting carpenters, masons that had really they had in mind the aim of the project and the way we wanted to go, and so they helped us turn this project into reality.
Okay. At the beginning, you make a drawing proposal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. And maybe that's something we used to do for a moment now. We start by not drawing. So we just start with discussions with everyone. And the most important person at the beginning is the architect in charge of the patrimony. And so first meeting, we just come empty-handed. Of course, it's not really true because we did a lot of drawings in the office, but we don't show them. And we try to engage this discussion and see how the idea we had about the project actually fits everyone's needs and how we can make it work with everybody. So it always starts with a drawing, but we hide it. And then we don't really show it.
No, but first we draft the whole project, but in mind just by explanation and discussion with the clients and so on. And after we decided and we are all agree on a way to develop it, then, and in fact, this is the project.
The drawings and plans, of course.
I mean, it's important to explain it, I think, and to make a point that it's after a discussion where everybody is aware and okay, that then the project takes place, and not before.
So, of course, the drawings, plans, sections, elevations, but also 3D models. We use a lot of 3D models and 3D renderings at the office to try to explain what we have in mind and try to explain it in the most realistic way possible. And in fact, for this particular project, everybody agreed on the fact that the contract was done because the image really looks like the actual building.
Okay. When it could be possible to see it delivered?
Unfortunately, it's a private place. So unless you apply to the clinic, but I don't want you to.
Perhaps
you cannot
some
really
photo?
visit it. But we will
photos?
show some pictures, yeah, of course. We work with a French photographer named Jaime Meloni. And he actually did the photographs 2 weeks ago. We are still discussing the ones we choose to show, but it will come out soon.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everyone, and see you next Wednesday for our new comdarchi in English. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to tune in to our previous content on Instagram at comdarchipodcast. If you like it, make sure to promote the podcast by giving it 5 stars on Apple Podcast and adding a comment, or on any of your favorite podcast platforms. And don't forget to subscribe and listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.